Welcome to the Hard Cam Wrestling Podcast NXT version. This is Ryan Palmer, joined today by Nick the Twin Towers. Say hello, Nick.
Hello.
Nice one. And as usual, you can follow us on Podbeam and listen on Podbeam and listen and watch on YouTube and subscribe on YouTube and follow on YouTube and hit the notification bell on YouTube and also on Twitter at Hardcam Podcast. Follow me on Twitter at Yardy316. It's going well there and then stumbled on my words. Where can they follow you, Nick?
They can follow me on Twitter under Pencil Tree, and you can also find me on the Wrestling Artwork page that's associated to the Hard Cam Wrestling Podcast Facebook page as well. So they're my two sources of, if you want to talk to me, feel free.
Excellent. And you can also find me on Facebook as well, on the Hard Cam Wrestling Facebook page. Let's Talk Wrestling page, the Wrestling Group page, and a whole host of other pages as well. Rate My Plate, giving people grief about their disgusting food choices. So, after last week's War Games, what were you expecting for this Fallout NXT show, Nick?
I don't know. It's weird. I don't. Cause obviously, with the mentality of things being in a cage, is that the final blow off for a lot of the feud, or is that just an old school mentality? Or I don't know if I was expecting to see a continuation of some of the feuds, which probably would be more likely. So yeah, I was just expecting hopefully a bit more between obviously Ciampa and Thatcher, because I think that's still got legs. And then, obviously, as announced beforehand, that Finn was going to be on the show. So that, to me, was what I was, looking forward to, seeing the Prince back in the ring.
Prince the Cat.
And the cat. And it's who nobody else can play in.
Don't piss in my kitty litter, you bastards. What a shit accent that was. So, yeah, to be sure. Oh, my God. We have an Australian listener, coincidentally enough. Coincidentally, yeah, you know what I say. Hello from Australia, if you're listening. Leave us some feedback. Put it down a shrimp on the barbie, mate. Well, they're not going to be listening anymore. Fucking hell.
No.
Neither would anyone from Ireland. God blimey. So, yeah, normally cage matches, cell matches, or War Games matches are usually the culmination and the ending of feuds. But kind of in the case of NXT, there's some seeds sown and they grow throughout the shows of NXT. Some feuds are killed dead and laid to rest in the cage. But again, more often than not, they rear their ugly head on the following shows. So alluding to War Games was a recap. NXT started with a recap of War Games with Finn Balor saying all eyes are back on him, back on the cat. Shows footage of people going through tables and moonsaults and people jumping off the cage in dustbins and doing moonsaults through tables and being one-arm chokeslammed through ladders. Cameron Grimes running away during his strap match. And all sorts of other shenanigans. The brutal match between Thatcher and Ciampa, which was just a slugfest with ears placed open and cauliflowered, and throughout the tunes of Black Sabbath's War Pigs is peppered in, which is a decent tune.
Personally, that's the thing.
Say that again?
Personal preference, I would have played Faith No More, War Pigs, but that's just my preference. Just throwing that out there, just throw something in the comments if people want to disagree with me.
Nice. I will load that one up on Spotify after this. I don't think I've heard that version before.
Awesome.
So Finn hits the ring, cuts a promo, says, "I'm back. War Games is done. If anyone wants to get to know him, just come and step up to him." So he's kind of basically just calling everyone out, saying he's here to be challenged. He's not. I suppose he's looking for challenges, but he ain't going to step away from any challenges. That's what I'm getting from this kind of promo.
Yeah, it's not anyone, but if somebody wants beef, then yeah, come step up, kind of thing.
Exactly, it's kind of come and have a go if you think you're hard enough, kind of a.
Because he's Irish, he loves to fight.
He loves to fight. What do they say on SmackDown now with Sheamus? Oh my god, it's so stupid. It's like a pint and a fight or something, which they ripped off of friggin' Danny Burch. Because Danny Burch used to say a pint and a fight is an all right night or some shit like that.
Yeah,
and
did.
And now Sheamus and Drew are ripping that off to an extent. But yeah, he's basically he's going to take on all comers. First all comer that steps up is Pete Dunne. Interrupts with a really horrible promo.
Looking very orange.
He is looking really orange. He's looking really cut. He's like 5% body fat now. And he's like hench, but he sounds horrible. He says something in Brummy. He's like, I can't even remember. It was so horrible that he said it. It was a case of bad scripting and his accent that really put me off me listening. Basically, he's claiming a title shot. But again, you kind of think, why are you claiming a title shot when you were on the losing team?
Yeah. Riley says that, doesn't he? Because obviously he comes out next. And like, no. You lost, mate.
That's exactly what he says. Kyle O'Reilly comes out. He claims a title shot. Says he lost to Finn a couple of weeks ago. So there's 2 losers in the ring that are claiming a title shot, and then title.
Like saying, "Oh, you beat me, but did you really beat me? Because you ended up eating your meals through a straw for 2 months." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, fair play. Yeah.
Fair play, yeah. And then a third loser comes out, I guess. Damian Priest. So he comes out, and all 3 of them, Priest, Pete Dunne, and Kyle O'Reilly, have a bit of a back and forth. Kyle O'Reilly does a shitty Cockney accent.
I popped for that.
So hold on, I can see the sentiment. I can see where you're coming from, but Peter Brummy, come on, man.
Yeah,
there's not many Americans that can do a Brummy accent, I suppose.
No.
Fair play. And then Finn just leaves. He slunks out of the ring. It's like, hold on, weren't you the guy that was making challenges earlier on? And you're just leaving. Which I think that's what Priest says. Hey, where are you going, Mr. Cat, or something like that. And Finn just goes back, I'm defending this title at New Year's Evil, but it's not my problem who I face. It's William Regal's problem. So it's like, Triple.
It was different. Not very often you kind of hear the champ say that. It's like, look, I'll fight anyone. Just, Regal can sort that shit out. Just whoever turns up, we'll have a match. That was the mentality, wasn't it?
Exactly. And then we get the tones of Fallen Prey, and Scarlet comes out. She doesn't have the egg timer for once, or whatever it's called, because it was smashed to pieces, but she didn't get a new one. So she just comes out, doesn't say anything. Damien calls her, "Hey, Smoke Show, is it usual for your husband to just stay in the car while you do his business?" It's like, ooh. So,
don't besmirch Ross.
Don't besmirch those 2. Basically, Finn does another call out, just says, well, what is it you usually say, TikTok? When your man's ready, tell him I'm ready and give me a call. And segment ends. So, pretty decent enough, do you think, Nick? Or
Yeah, man, I'd say I popped. It was, I was loving it before Scarlet came out, and Scarlet comes out looking all shiny in latex and stuff.
yes.
Yeah, that's kind of topped. I'm not going to say it pushed me over the edge because that would be another thing. But that was it. Was yeah, it was the icing on top of the cake for me. That was, and all those guys involved, Riley, Dunn, and Priest, all could have good matches with Finn. I would happily watch any of them fight Finn. The only downside is, like you mentioned, is Dunn and Priest have both just come off the back of losses.
Yeah. It's like, you've all come off losses. What's going on? Who's booking this? Why is it being booked like this? But I guess
Overall, won 4 games, so at least he's got a little bit of credibility in that sense.
True. And then you get Pete Dunne being interviewed backstage. The interview's interrupted by Killian Dane. Killian Dane just completely rushes Pete Dunne. They have a scrap. Drake Maverick's there as well. He tries to break things up as well as security. And then we just go to the next match after that. That's not resolved. Next match being Swerve Scott and Jake Atlas. Which, again, must be like another cruiserweight type match in the cruiserweight division.
Don't really explain that much. They don't put much credence on it, do they, beforehand? It's like you was asking before, when it was Nice and Atlas. It's like there must be a reason for this match, but they don't really highlight it. But yeah, it'll be a future contender for the belt, I would have thought.
You would have thought, yeah. You're kind of wondering when, obviously, the when is going to be when the pandemic ends or eases or vaccines, etc., etc. Because I'm kind of wondering why wouldn't you have the Irish Ace come in and try and interject himself here? He's fed up with having no challenges on the NXT UK, so he'll come over here, enter a match like this. So like 2 guys, Tony Nese and Swerve Scott are in a match, and suddenly fucking it's the Irish Ace. He comes in, beats the shit out of those 2, cuts a promo, wants the imposter champion that's got his title.
We have to have a ladder match. We're both fight off the ladder.
So, bit of usual kind of match, fast pace, standing moonsaults, hurricane runners, flatliners, power bombs. Even Scott gets rolled up. He tries to get Jake into a cradle move, and then he gets cradled and he gets pinned. Scott slunks off. He's in a bit of a mood. Jake offers a handshake, doesn't get the handshake. So you kind of wondered, is that a turn for Scott? Possibly. Maybe it'll give him some sort of edge. He's been on a losing streak recently. Jake's coming off a bit of a losing streak. So maybe this is the change Swerve Scott needs. Do you think he needs... what do you think?
He's great in the ring. Swerve's just awesome. Both of these guys are. Atlas has won 2 back-to-back now because he beat Nice last week as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
So obviously Atlas is probably going to be the next pretender for Escobar's belt. But Swerve, just give him a little bit more character, man. Give him sort of give him a little bit of an attitude or a bit of a chip on his shoulder or something, just to give him that sort of bit of a push.
I think that's what he needs, really.
Yeah.
We've got Ciampa backstage, cutting a promo about Cameron Grimes and the past and leaving the past behind, etc. Standard Ciampa kind of intense promo. Gets up and just leaves abruptly. Then we get a triple threat tag team match, which is pretty funny. Grizzled young veterans versus Everrise and Imperium. Traditional triple threat rules where it's 3 guys in the ring at the same time, but Everrise decided to stay outside. So actually, they start the match. They're outside on the match. I think it's Drake and Bartel. They go out. They drag one of Everrise into the ring. It's like beat him up for a bit and then chuck him back out the ring. So I was like, what was the point of that?
Sort of like the lovable, scrappy underdogs kind of thing. Like, yeah, we'll just beat them up. Like Kai and Tai back in the day, we'll beat them up for 5 minutes, fuck them off, and let's go after the other two.
That's exactly the shit they were doing as well. Type of Kai and Tai stuff, like the 2000 Royal Rumble when Kai and Tai just kept running in. They were doing that. It was like a case of.
Still has nightmares about that drop on his head. One of them not thrown out, man. That was brutal.
It was nasty. That was terrible. So every time you had like Drake and Gibson and Bartel and I can't remember what the other guy's name is.
That's his name.
Yes. So whenever they're in the ring having a decent brawl or they get near to the ropes, one of Everrise would just jump up and like interfere, or if one gets a pin on the other, say Bartel got a pinfall cover on Drake. One of the Everrise will come in, break up the pin, and then go for the pin themselves. So it's that kind of match. They're just trying to steal pins. They're getting denied by one of Imperium or one of Grizzled Young Veterans. So Everrise are just playing spoilers really instead of trying to actually actively fight. They get pinned after a ticket to Mayhem after they themselves try and steal a pin on one of Imperium. So I think that's their first loss they've actually had for a while. Every other match they've had, they've been interrupted and been beaten up in some way.
Yeah, it's the first time that I think they've actually been in the ring when the bell rang.
Exactly. Yeah. So hopefully something comes of their work. They seem to have worked hard to be distanced from jobbers. They've worked on their characters.
Yeah.
And have elevated themselves through this kind of stuff, through their promos, through their YouTube 2-minute videos that gets put on YouTube and tweeted out. So they've got a bit of a rub from Kevin Owens as well. So again, hopefully a good word to be put in for them, and they'll move up the ladder and they'll be put in more prominent positions.
Yeah, I say in 12 months' time, you'll find that they go on an unexpected run or something. They start defeating people, they start beating people, and it's like, oh shit. And then people start getting behind them, and it's like, yeah.
That would be cool. Yeah, and we get another video of War Games. Basically, this time it's everyone that was in War Games just saying, yeah, it changes your life. It's really fucking horrible. It's shit, and it's fucking terrible. You break limbs and stuff. It's like, well, yes. So you see Shotzi coming off the ladder and landing on Candice. Weird fucking spot that, basically breaking Candice's arm.
Yeah.
Then Red Dragon fellow.
Bobby Fish.
Yes, Bobby Fish. Talking about his torn bicep. And Only Lorcan's face being busted up by the chair as well. So it was a lot of mayhem. I like the women's War Games match for the clutter, the plunder. The only thing that let it down was the booking of it. The fact that the girls, the faces, had the advantage, but they still lost.
I think they kind of vetoed that though, didn't they? By not letting EO in the cage. I think that they kind of put the spin on that at that point when they wouldn't let EO in until the next member of, the bad guys came in, kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's when EO came across the top. So I don't know. Yeah, I get what you mean with that one, but I think probably a bit of damage control, like sort of balancing it out in that point.
Next, we have Tony Storm cutting a promo about Ember Moon. Just basically saying that Ember stole her thunder when she returned. And that she'll be the next champion. I think we said something like this when we were talking about what was the takeover before War Games? It was.
I'm crap at remembering takeover names. I just remember from takeover.
I think it was us. I could be imagining this, but I'm sure we was.
We have talked about how Storm. I think you mentioned it a few weeks ago, but I mean, it was going. Storm was going to be pissed that Moon stole her thunder kind of thing.
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, I think that was it. And then EO just turns up and says, points at the belt, says, "This isn't my problem anymore." Points at Tony. "You're not my problem. I just don't like you." Hits her in the face. They brawl to a door. Go through the door. They go to ringside. Tony gets the upper hand. Tony flings EO in the ring. EO comes back, lays out Tony. Tony is about to get moonsaulted by EO. She rolls out the ring, but Ember comes along. Ember does what Tony did to her when she turned. So she slams her into the steps, drags her from the steps, flings her back in the ring. She's in the position for moonsault, and then EO hits an unsloppy moonsault onto Tony. Tries to go for the pin, but obviously it's not a pinfall. And Tony is all messed up. So Ember and EO stand triumphant. So obviously there's a Tony Storm's going for the women's championship. Do you think she has a legitimate claim there, Nick?
No, I think they need to get her. I don't know if she's. Yeah, because obviously her main feud really should be with Ember, not EO.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a bit of this weird triangle. If it ends up being a triple threat between Moon, Storm, and EO, you know what? I'll take that. No, I don't think Storm's got a clear cut right to challenge for the women's title yet.
I think there's another component as well. Raquel Gonzalez, which we forgot about. So I think realistically, the only one really would be Raquel Gonzalez. But again, that's because
feud.
Yeah. And then we've got Grimes and Ciampa. Cameron Grimes.
To the moon!
To the moon! Thatcher's there at ringside. He pulls up a chair and he's watching the match just like the way Ciampa did when he was watching Thatcher's matches with whoever he was with. So he's sat at ringside, he's watching Cameron and Grimes and Ciampa. Doesn't interact with them too much. Grimes and Ciampa do brawl out the ring. They do look at Thatcher. Thatcher stands up. They do sort of square up to him, but they don't take any action. They don't get physically involved. Pretty physical match. There's an intensity in the way that Thatcher's watching. There's a highlight of the match. There's a Spanish fly. Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes tries to go for his what's his friggin' name called? Not the lights out. He tries to go for his finish. Ciampa rolls out the ring. For some stupid reason, Grimes goes after him. Then once Ciampa's back in the ring, he hits the Widow's Bell, gets the pin. 1, 2, 3. Actually, before that,
it's called the cave in. I've just remembered.
Oh yeah, the cave in. Yeah.
Right then.
There's interference from Tyler Rust for some reason. I think he was involved last week. He was one of Thatcher's trainees. He's trying to get involved here. He doesn't. He's not successful. He kind of causes a distraction. After the match, Grimes squares up to Thatcher.
Thatcher denied. Ciampa squared up to him first, didn't he? And then Thatcher was kind of like saying, "I didn't send him in. It's nothing to do with me. I was just kind of stood here." So he was kind of denying all responsibility for that student kid running in as well.
That's right. And then he gets caught in a leg lock. Just picks him up, twists his leg.
That was brutal as fuck. I made a funny noise. I was like, "Ooh."
It was really rough. It looked like it sucked.
Yeah.
We got Raquel Gonzalez cut the promo saying she's next in line for a title shot. So there's another one making a claim. And then we get the bizarre video of Boa and Zaya Lee going through various torturous training. Boa's just been beaten to pieces. He's being tenderized basically with a kendo stick. And Zaya's just doing like hitting a wooden dummy with her arms and legs, and her shins are all bloody, her arms are all bloody, and there's blood everywhere. Boa's face is bleeding, both their knuckles are bleeding, there's just blood everywhere. And then at the end, there's like a flash of some eyes, so you don't see the actual face. It's like the eyes of whomever it is that's putting them through this training. But again, we don't find out why or who it is. And then the Garganos are in the ring. Candice LeRae, Johnny Gargano, Indy Hartwell, Theory. I think they're going to be called The Way. Because
it's the way.
This is the way we wash your hands. This is the way we do this. This is the way we cut promos. Everything is the way. Austin says Milky Way at one point, which is a bit lame. They do a blind high five.
Yeah, that's how much in tune they are. They didn't even look.
We didn't even look. He's bigging up how brutal the match was that he was in with his mouth stitches. Says the match was like a crime scene. He's somebody else making history, a la Kenny Omega. He makes history. He's the 3-time North American champion. And Candice makes history. She's the 2-time War Game winningest leader. War Game team leader. Crowd are booing heavily at this point. He unveils a gift for Candice, which is a doll's head on a trophy
that he had flown from Italy
overnight packaging, overnight delivery cost loads. I think the doll's head was supposed to be Shotzi's because it had green hair.
Yeah, I thought that. Kind of like the drum roll bit made me chuckle though. We tried to get Austin and Indy to do like these little drum roll things. It's like, yeah, no, it's my bad. I should have pre-warned you about that. Yo, Tim, sort me out a drum roll.
That was pretty funny. Do you think Austin was made to look kind of stupid in this as well?
Yes.
I thought he did.
Just like tensing his pecs. It's like, dude, seriously.
Exactly. He just stood there like a fucking moron. Not like his all-day character at all. He was just like a dumb blonde. It was just, I wonder if he's been buried at all or something. Or taught a lesson. It's just really odd.
I think the intention's there because obviously you put somebody with Gargano and the esteem that Gargano is held in within NXT, they've got to see it as a good thing for Theory, but it might be good intentions, but it ain't gonna work because they're making him look like a dumbass.
Exactly. Yes. He just looked really fucking stupid. Indy looked fine. She came across all right. But Theory, no, I was just like, yeah, all right, well, stop saying Milky Way and stop saying stupid things. Yeah. And then Priest comes out for his second appearance of the day. congratulations to Johnny. You won. Yeah. Austin Theory, you're there too. Have you got your piece? Have you got your pipe? Because I'm going to shove it up your ass. So he makes a run for the ring, but Cross comes out, beats him up, bucks him up into the video wall thing, and then powerbombs him or chokeslams him off the stage into like a table. He's laid out, and then he goes out into a car, mirroring what Priest had said earlier. Do you send out your bloke? Or does your bloke send you out to do his dirty work while you wait in the car? Oh, while he waits in the car. But this time, she was in the car and he was doing the heavy lifting. So he gets in the car with Scarlett. They drive off. Excellent ends to that segment. Do you think?
Yeah, that was awesome. I popped huge for Cross. I like Cross, and it seems like his recovery has been Cena-like. So I'm pretty certain they weren't expecting him back until like next year. But yeah, it's awesome. If we get a Cross Priest feud out of it, hopefully they'll make Priest look strong in defeat. I think that's what Cross will do whilst Finn is fighting Dunn or Kyle, and then obviously Cross will go after Finn at the next takeover. So Cross, whilst Finn's probably having another match against O'Reilly.
Oh yeah. And is it Malcolm Bivens? It is Malcolm Bivens. Yeah. Well, actually, it's Rust. Rust is getting interviewed backstage by one of the interviewers, and then Malcolm Bivens interrupts. Says, "Hey, you didn't give me an answer to the to when I give you the business card last week." And they walk away. He still doesn't answer because for some reason they've not given him permission to talk or something. You're still only a trainee. You can't talk yet. And then they walk off. Obviously, to talk business. We get the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne versus Killian Dane match. Dane starts off very hot and fiery. There's no fucking lock up here. This is a grudge match. He just steams in. Well, they're both fucking steaming into each other. They're just fucking windmilling each other. And everywhere. Boots flying everywhere. It's tough. It's friggin' brutal. It's big man slapping meat, as Biggie would say. It goes across two breaks. There's the Vader bomb kind of move that Killian Dane does. There's a usual finger break spot from Pete Dunne. It goes for, I can't remember what he used to call it, but it's now called the one-winged angel. But he doesn't do it anymore, Killian Dane. I can't remember what his name for it was. But he goes for that. He doesn't obviously get it. There's a run-in from Lorcan and Birch, but Drake Maverick appears. He makes a save. He stops the interference. He's got a chair. He's fending off Lorcan and Birch with the chair. He's bigging himself up. He's like, yeah, look at me. I took them both out. He stood at the ramp saying, yeah, look. And then they both come back. They blindside him. They take him out. And
Mashed Spud.
Yes, Spud gets taken out. Mashed Spud. And then there is a bitter end from Pete Dunne onto Killian Dane, which I'm impressed that he got him up for it for the win. Big man slapping meat. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I like Dunne all the time in the world for his matches. Not sure I would have had him go against Dane. I don't think Dunne benefits from it in any way, shape, or form. When Dane's looking strong, it makes Dunne should be like main, he's potential challenging for the world title. And if he's on my TV struggling against Dane, it's not building up any kind of belief in me that he could potentially win the world title. So it is what it is. It's not a main event that I enjoyed storyline wise. It was a good match. Both guys are super talented, but yeah, it didn't click with me. I fucking hate Drake Maverick, so anytime he's on my TV, it pisses me off.
So after that, we get there's like a backstage segment with Ruff, even Ruff, Gargano, Austin. Gargano and Austin and winding up Ruff, saying, if you want to match with us, you need a partner, you got no friends. And then Kushida turns up,
Yes!
says, I will be your partner. So then there's a tag team match between those four next week.
Oh, yeah.
The main event of the evening is Raquel Gonzalez versus Ember Moon. Okay match. I think there's there's like a sense of disappointment. She basically she loses again. She showed it's a good match. Both Ember Moon and Raquel Gonzalez are really competitive, very competent in the ring. They know what they're doing, that they're putting on a good match. But ultimately, Ember Moon loses again. So it's like, why did they book you like this? Why did you come back?
Yeah, I expected Moon to come back and kind of steamroll it, steamroll her way through EO. So that's what I kind of imagined them doing with Moon, because she is that good. They're all that good, but if you do a return like that for someone,
yeah,
she's lost her way already, kind of thing. It's no disrespect to Raquel, but yeah, Moon could be steamrolling her way through to fucking EO.
It's disappointing that didn't happen, but I suppose she's been there already. She's come back. There's other noobs in her spot where she used to be, so she's got to do the honors, putting the new guys over.
Is she the old guard now to put the new ones over? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
To me, I still think of her, because she was barely used on the main roster. I still see Ember Moon as being like new and fresh kind of thing. I know that she is, because, like you say, she's been there before, but I hate to think of her as like the old guard. I don't want her to be that person that has to put the new people over. I want her to still be able to go ballistic kind of thing.
True. She does a weird thing here. I mean, Raquel's on the announce table. Ember climbs up the truss that's there still from when there was War Games. Why that hasn't been loaded out, I don't know. But and then Raquel just flicks her off and she lands on her shoulder. She lawn darts her into the ring post. She looks like she's knocked out. She goes in the ring, covers Ember Moon. Ember fucking kicks out of that. I'm just like, holy shit. Popped for that. I thought that was an impressive spot. I would have thought that would have been it. But it's not. Ember goes for Eclipse, doesn't get it. Raquel goes for a finishing move, one arm powerbomb. Done. And that's it. She's just fucking. It's lost again. It's just like, why? It's so disheartening. So disheartening. And after the match, Tony Storm comes in, lays out Ember Moon again, and then you got a square up between the two Aussies, Rhea Ripley and Tony Storm. Should be a decent confrontation.
Well, they've got history from NXT UK as well, aren't they, kind of thing? So, because didn't Ripley take the belt off of Storm, or vice versa?
Yeah, that was it. No, it was Storm taking off Ripley.
That's it. Yeah.
Do you think Ripley should be in this position between her, Storm, and Gonzalez?
I think what you'll get is fantasy booking alarm call. I think Ripley's on the verge of a main core roster, so I think they'll use Ripley to give Raquel the final push. That's going to be Ripley's next feud is against Raquel. She'll give Raquel the rub. She'll then be up to the main roster for the Rumble. Hopefully win the Rumble. And then, that leaves Storm and Ember Moon to go after EO kind of thing. Like I say, in that potential triangle.
I kind of think she's maybe owed a Rumble win, possibly, or something good in the Rumble for. What I'm getting at is the way she was done dirty over losing to fucking to Charlotte, and the way she lost to Charlotte, and there was supposed to be some sort of grand plan, as Triple H said. He said, "Oh, trust the process; it'll all make sense in the end," and it fucking hasn't. You used Charlotte to try and get ratings over AEW, and it didn't fucking work, and you fucked up, and you fucked up the character.
For the sake of like ratings and having Charlotte pulling double duty, it's fucked up. So give Ripley a redemption and let her go on and win the Rumble. Let her boss it on the fucking main roster next year sometime, kind of thing. I hate that word, main roster, but on the Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be my part. I think she's got to put Raquel over first, though. I think that's going to be her leaving present, is to make Raquel the dominant female of NXT.
Makes sense. Makes perfect sense. So that was NXT. Decent enough show. Didn't blow me away too much. Coming off a War Games, it set pieces into position, sowed some seeds. Was okay. And
which is a massive take from that episode for me.
Karrion Cross was the biggest take.
That's it.
His return, impactful. You want to run down Dynamite?
Dynamite, yes, we have. So obviously the big talk for Dynamite was the fact that Sting was going to be on there and Sting was going to talk.
Yes.
So we got there about halfway through the show, but the show started with the Young Bucks versus TH2. Basically, if TH2 won, they would then be number one contenders, and it was a good tag match, man. I know there's some people within the group that don't like TH2, the so-called tag team specialist. I like TH2, man. I think they're a good team. I guess the Young Bucks, it was going to do what it said on the tin. It was a solid match for me, man. You got the Bucks hit a Meltzer driver on the floor, which just looks cringe. And then I did think TH2 were going to win, though, to set up, for a return. But no, the Bucks hit them with the I want to say it's the BTE, their version of the V trigger.
Yes, I thought it was a very PWG match, but on the sort of a slightly lower gear, but still, nonetheless, it was very fast paced.
Yeah,
so it was a PWG match without as many high spots. So I mean, there could have been loads of flips and stuff in that, but there wasn't. Anyone complaining about that match was Jimmy Cornette.
Stupid old and angry.
Exactly. Jack Evans, I've been a fan of him for years.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think there was a similar. Do you remember the wrestling channel when it was on Sky?
Yes.
And you remember they always used to in between like shows and stuff. They always do these big certain wrestlers. And also Jack Evans was kind of just coming into the limelight at that time.
Yes, I remember that.
Evans on the wrestling channel, and you just sit there, you go, oh, fucking hell. This was like before Ospreay, before Ricochet. This dude was just like, Jesus, what?
Yeah, he was excellent on the wrestling channel in his matches. I remember his it was like a cage match. I keep going back to this cage match that he was in, and he just did like 10 flips off of it, off the top, coming down onto a load of people. Angelica, I'm not too familiar with, but Jack Evans in this match was competent. He was excellent. All four guys were. Great finish to the match as well.
I always forget his name. The tall guy, Jericho, probably just called him. He just looks like a streak of piss. But the dude, some of his groundwork is really, really cool.
Yep, very, very decent stuff. So let's see so good finish to the match. We then get a backstage segment between. Oh no! We get MJF the promo saying that he's gonna win his ring back, slagging off Orange Cassidy. Then we get the interview with Sting. Cody's in the ring. Cody's with Arn, and is with Tony. Tony introduces. Well, it doesn't introduce Sting. Sting just appears. He mentions the appearance of Sting from last week, and he suddenly appears. The lights go down. Snow appears. The video appears from last week. Sting hits the ring. He does this woo. Arn leaves. Tony is about to leave, but Sting says, "No, bring it in. It's been years. We're practically family." They have a hug, and there's a "This is awesome" chant from the crowd, which Sting kind of takes part in. Cody cuts a promo on Sting saying, just basically welcoming him to the company. I think those two are gonna. It's like Cody has to be the kind of gatekeeper to these guys. So Sting kind of says like more things change, more things stay the same, and he points into the rafters, and we see Darby Allin. Darby Allin is in the crowd, and what did you think of the segment, Nick?
Yeah, I just thought it
made me happy, which is the main takeaway for me. Thing is, though, Sting genuinely looked happy to be there, and that kind of came through the TV. I was happy because he was happy. Tony is just a big kid again, Mr. Shalom. I liked it, man. I thought it was awesome. Obviously, sort of saying to Cody, "Look, I ain't got any beef with you yet. I've got other things to do." So basically, say to Cody, "Look, I'll get to you eventually, but I think my main focus is on Darby at the minute, because obviously quite up to him, in the rafters." And before this, you had the Rorschach segment with Alan as well, when he was doing the ink blots.
That was funny.
He was just like, "No, I'm not talking about it."
Yeah, that was a cool segment. The ink blot segment. Taz is backstage with Team Taz and his son Hook as well. Hook doesn't say anything. Everyone else does, apart from Powerhouse Hobbs. He doesn't say anything. Just Taz and Ricky Starks actually do all the heavy mic lifting. Brian Cage just says, "Who better?" And that's it. That's probably the best he can really do, because he's not good on the mic, really. We have what's the next match? We have the Revival FTR versus the Varsity Blondes, which is Brian Pillman Jr. and I can't even remember the other guy's name. And there's a running joke about the fucking guy's name as well. Who the fuck is
Garrison or something like that? It's something Garrison.
Yeah, that's it. Garrison. Who the fuck is Garrison?
Garrison.
Yeah. So it's I think the name is a homage to the Hollywood Blondes, which Brian Pillman's dad was in with Steve Austin back in WCW days. You just get a pretty physical match. The FTR steamroller all over the Varsity Blondes. They win the match with the finishing move. Can't even remember what that move is now. You know, it's terrible. They win. That's it. Backstage segment with Hangman Page being in a bar. There's a 3-man tag next week, and he's got no partner. Behind the bar is John Silver and
Reynolds.
Reynolds as well. They said they're going to be his partner. They're wearing cowboy hats. He says, "Yeah, fine, you can be my partner, but I'm not joining the Dark Order. This is just a one-off." They just go, "Yeah, yeah." Woo, 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 woo. What do you think of this one?
Yeah. Obviously, love Page, continuing on with the Dark Order Page storyline, and yeah, anytime you get Silver on screen is good for me. So it's just another turn of the wheel to see how that story goes. So yeah, I think it'll be a good match next week. You know, those guys will deliver in spades. Yeah, I'm just curious as to how Mr. Brody Lee is going to be when he comes back. The Dark Order's kind of gone down a bit of a comedy route at the minute. I can't see Mr. Lee.
No, I can't see him being too pleased about that. There's going to be changes made. Heads rolling as well. Speaking of the Dark Order number 10, is it? Versus Dustin Rhodes. 10 looks pretty jacked. I kind of wonder who the hell it is playing 10. Because he looks pretty good. So it's like you've got this body on you, but you're hiding your face. That must be really gutting. You can't brag about being a professional wrestler because no one fucking knows what you look like.
Maybe that's why he's got the mask on.
Maybe it's what
ugly.
Could very well be very ugly. So Dustin wins, and the rest of the Dark Order come out. Evil Uno offers Dustin a number. Do you know what the significance of the number is?
Yes, WCW.
Yeah.
He briefly played a character called 7 in WCW.
Like a stalker character or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very all white, like makeup kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Obviously, it was after the Goldust one. He left WWF, went back to WCW for a while. They wanted to kind of portray their own spooky ass weird gimmick, so they gave him 7, and yeah, it was bad.
It's pretty. I don't know if if they meant to do that or if anyone else got it, or if this was just a joke segment referring back to that. But that was pretty funny. It was like, holy shit!
Like a break of the fourth wall.
Yeah. So he refuses, slaps Evil Uno. They all go off and they say, "Oh, well, we'll leave you to think about it." And then we got the backstage segment with Tony, Shaq, and Brandy. And Tony's there with a Chekhov's gun in his hand. It's just like as soon as I saw it, I was thinking, something's going to happen with that glass of water. I'm sure of it. He introduces Brandy just as the chief brand officer, and then he introduces Shaq and bigs him up big time. And Brandy's having none of it. She's just like,
you just announced me as me. That was it. It's like, oh, she's in a bad mood.
She's in a fucking bad mood. So Shaq sleeps his way through this interview. He's got red eyes. I don't know. Well, he had red eyes after the water went in his face, I think. But he's basically just sleeping his way through this interview. And then afterwards, the Chekhov's gun goes off, i.e., the glass of water gets flung in Shaq's face. And Shaq just stares at the camera, just looking really, really stupid.
You know that's going to be a meme, though, right?
That's going to be a meme. It's going to be like that Omega meme where he had that face. It's going to be that meme. Fucking hell. So as a segment, do you think this set up anything nicely or furthered the storyline?
It progressed the Shaq and Cody kickoff at some point. It was neither here nor there for me. It served its purpose. If you didn't know if you've been living under the rock for the last 20 years and you don't know who Shaq was, there he is. He's a big bastard. He's also the man that played Steel for any comic book fans from way back in the day. But yeah, it did what it did, man. If it wasn't on the show, I wouldn't have missed it. But it was.
Did it make you want to watch Cody versus Shaq?
Not yet, but I think we'll get a few more segments like this going forward that will just build up the intensity to the point of. I don't think I'm ever gonna want to see Shaq and Cody, to be honest, but it might get other people interested.
Now we get the ultimatum, the Inner Circle ultimatum. You got the Inner Circle in the ring, obviously with MJF. Jericho's just there saying, right, we've been going through some shit. We should break. Don't want to break up, but we're gonna break up if shit doesn't fucking sort itself out. What did you make of this segment?
Yeah, man, I thought it was. I'm just waiting on the Jericho face turn. But as a segment, man, I thought it was quite like the fact that they're not idiots. You know, like you see it so many times in wrestling where somebody would do it the week before, the week later would kick off about it, and it'd be like, "Oh, if you just watch the fucking highlights, you'll see that he didn't mean it," or that person puts that person into you, kind of thing. Don't be pissed at them. Be pissed at them. And obviously, they kind of did that this week with like, look, we watched the show. We're not idiots. We saw you with the towel. We know it wasn't Sammy. It's like, oh shit. I just went on my head. I just had to, I was just going to mop my head down. It's little things like that I like in AEW. You generally don't get that in the other brands. It's like, they do have a little bit of smarts about it. And, it's going to go one of two ways. They're either building Sammy up to be the biggest face coming out of this, or Sammy's been a little twat and he's teaming up with MJF behind the scenes and they're both going to do Jericho over.
Yeah, and he said, if he fucks up again or if you fuck up again, Chris, I'm gonna leave the Inner Circle. So it's like, ooh. Obviously he didn't say fuck, but you know what I mean. So even Ortiz was saying that he knows fucking MJF is a dick. He doesn't like him, but he's an asset. He wins things. He's growing on him like a fungus. You're better than him, and you know it. So just shake his hand. MJF's a bit, but he puts his hand out anyway. Shakes his hand. Kristen goes, "Has anyone else got any questions?"
Why is he staring at me?
That's so fucking funny. I got a question. Why is he staring at me? Me staring at you. You staring at me. That's fucking tremendous to spot.
I'm sorry on that one though. Obviously Santana wasn't there, and kind of they wrote that into the thing, didn't they? So that
Santana's so pissed at all of this, he got him bothered, coming to work. He's got personal stuff going on at the minute, which is why he's legitimately not there. So hopefully it's nothing serious, and he's back with Ortiz soon.
Yeah. Nice to see Ortiz wearing an autism inclusive T-shirt as well. So I think that's what they do in Daly's place. They cater for people with autism, and Obviously, they don't discriminate. Why would you? Backstage segment with Tully and FTR. Tully basically says, you lost because I weren't there with you. These other teams, they lose because they're not complete. We are complete when I'm with you. Holds up the three fingers and end segment. So decent enough segment. There's no split there. There's no dissension there. Seemingly, I don't see that they're going to split or there's any dissension. Do you think they're going to split anytime soon?
Probably not. FTR, they're like the Bucks. They're basically always going to. They're a team. There's certain tag teams that will always stay together, hopefully. And FTR is one of them, much like the Young Bucks is, another one kind of thing. You had like LOD back in the day. So yeah, I think they're that sort of cut where they're a tag team.
Cool. We get the Butcher and Blade with the Bunny, and Kingston versus Penta and the Lucha Brothers and the Murder Hawk. But Penta L0M is it one of them gets fucking taken out and put through a table?
Penta comes into it with a legitimate injury, so they basically have to get him quick. So yeah, he had that table spot, got him out.
Yeah. Suplex through a table, he's done.
Yeah.
So it's basically a 3-on-2 handicap match. What did you make of this match?
Yeah, man. It was, again, we've talked about the Butcher and the Blade in the tag team conversations. I like them. I know nobody else really does, but I think they do a job. I think they're a good team. And throw Kingston in there, you automatically made Phoenix an underdog by having it 3-on-2, which is, Phoenix's world. He can go around, bounce around, hit moves left, right, and centre, and just be just like Ray was back in the day, kind of thing. He's that the little guy underdog. You root for him. The only good thing is obviously he's got Lance on the outside, so whatever Lance gets, I think it was right one part in it where Phoenix hit a cutter to then get to a tag to Lance, and yeah, Lance is just he's the Murder Hawk, man. The dude just went in there and caused chaos. There's just no ceilings to be throwing people through.
That segment was awesome. Beating up loads of guys in the dressing room, throws one through the ceiling. Oh, tremendous! There needs to be more like that. They've got to have more stuff like that. It was absolutely hilarious.
Well, it was a good match, man. I think everybody involved, knew the roles, they know what they're doing, and yeah, everybody kind of played to everybody's strengths as much as you can do in a 3 against 2.
Do you think it furthered any storylines, any feuds, any issues any further? Do you think?
I'm hoping with Penta. Well, not hoping because Penta's injured. Hopefully, speedy recovery. But I don't know where Pac's gone. I don't know if it's a whole lockdown thing again, whether he's had to come back to the UK or whether he's still over there. But I'm hoping next week we'll get Lance, Pac, and Phoenix against Butcher and the Blade and Kingston, and that could be a slight progression in the storyline.
Women's segment. We got back all lumped into one. Backstage segment of all the women brawling. Nyla Rose, Jade Cargill, Red Velvet, Vicky Guerrero's there as well. There's, I think, Big Swole as well. For some reason, Jade and Nyla are messing with Red Velvet. There's no explanation as to why. I think she was with Brandy that time they fucked up her arm, possibly. So they're all there causing shit. And then we flung into the next women's segment, which is Abaddon versus Tisha something or other, or I think that's her name, Tisha. She basically just jobs to Abaddon, takes like 2 moves. and that's it. She goes down to the Widow's Peak. I'm sure it's called the Widow's Peak. Victoria used to use it.
Yes.
So she goes down to that. She gets pinned. Sheeta comes out, hits fucking Abaddon with a kendo stick, square in the head. She does the sit-up spot. Sheeta then just gets the fuck out of there with her and Tasha or Tisha. Runs away scared. It's like, well, you've still got the fucking kendo stick. You can still smash the shit out of her still. But they're off. They go. They leave. And as I said in the chat a couple of days ago, and I should have said on the fucking podcast, but I forgot to. The next segment is Kenny Omega arriving in a helicopter, a la Lex Luger on the Intrepid back in '93 to Power Slam or Hip Toss Yokozuna. So I thought, yeah, I fucking knew this was happening. I knew this was happening. I called it. And,
on that. You did say that a few days ago, so yeah. Full credit.
Thank you very much. So they're in a two-man helicopter as well. So Kenny gets out first. The pilot's there, but where is Don Callis? So I think they must have flown separately or some shit. Don Callis wasn't in that helicopter. So they cut back, and then Don Callis is coming out the helicopter. So it's like, that's odd. Right, so, I don't know. 3 people were not in that helicopter. Marvez tries to get an interview. They get battered away. They said they'll talk in the ring. They cut to the ring. Omega gets his elongated entrance to North Carolina there as well. And where does he emerge from, Nick? Where does Omega emerge from?
Totally forgotten now.
Well, it's the heel entrance.
The heel entrance,
yes. So he has now.
Have I missed something here? I was like, I'm sure it's a heel entrance, but is there something else that I've missed? But no, yeah.
That's what I was alluding to. He's basically. So he used to come out the other side, but it was like, oh shit, that's a bit jarring. But no, he comes out the heel entrance, so therefore solidifying his heeldom. And they're in the ring cutting the same promo that they did on Impact.
Yeah.
So you're just like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
What did you feel about this?
It didn't sit right with me, that bit. I just kind of sat there like, oh shit, I'm getting deja vu here. I kind of get why, just in case people didn't watch Impact, but they could have just shown that as, you know, at the start of AEW kind of thing. Like, this was Kenny on Impact yesterday. Give little snippets of that promo, and then got a whole new promo tonight kind of thing to progress it. So, yeah, it was still good, but it kind of got me on the back foot straight away.
Yeah, Impact kind of got screwed because Impact showed AEW footage, but it didn't show any Impact footage on AEW. But I mean, if they did, it would have just been repeating this anyway. So I guess it kind of stuck between the rock and a hard place. If they did show the Impact footage, which was just those two in the caravan talking to Josh Matthews, it would have just been, and then played this. It would have just been the same thing. It would have been the exact same thing.
Yeah, that's why I think they should have got a new promo on Dynamite kind of thing and not gone over what was said the night before.
Exactly, yeah. This was pre-recorded. Impact was pre-recorded, so who knows what went on. Maybe they couldn't do any re-records or drop in anything live to fuck up continuity. So we get the main event, Orange Cassidy versus MJF for the Dynamite Diamond Ring. What do you make of this match? Did you like this match at all?
Yeah, I can't not like it. You know, when MGF the most heelish stuff heels in the business today, and Orange Cassidy, who's obviously totally Marmite. You know, you either appreciate the guy or you just think he's a massive joke. I appreciate him. I think the kid's good at what he does. Full credit to somebody who's able to come up with a totally unique new gimmick in the business after X amount of years. I thought it was a good match.
I like the spot close to the end, the Eddie Guerrero spot. Floyd the back gets flung in.
Yeah.
MJF pretends to be hit, lays down, throws the back to Orange Cassidy. He's got his fingers in his pockets, so he can't fucking do anything with the bat. But then he does the fucking bat spot. The ref turns around, sees MJF with the bat, and he's just like, right, no, I can't call what I don't see, is what JR says on commentary. Throws the bat out. Match carries on. Brawl ensues outside between the Inner Circle, best friends, and a bunch of friggin' dark jobbers, or jobbers from Dark, I should say, or jobbers that are from ringside. And then it kind of all goes a bit Monty Python because Miro comes in with Kip Sabian. Miro's got some hideous fucking jumper on. Like it's like early Christmas present jumper. He fucking clotheslines. He takes out Orange Cassidy. He basically helps MJF to win 1, 2, 3, and MJF gets his diamond ring back, and then just chaos ensues with all sorts of fucking security. Miro takes out the best friends, takes out the security. He's got one of the security guys on his shoulders while booting another one, flings one guy off the stage into nowhere. It's just a fucking huge melee, and it's in the end, it's fucking the guy that weren't even in the match, fucking Miro standing tall. I guess you do get the visual of MJF at the end saying, "Yeah, I won it by myself." But
take full credit for it. Like, yeah.
But Miro stands tall, so maybe this is the birth of Miro. They're gonna finally do something with Miro. What they're gonna do, who knows? But it should be good. Hopefully, without any more dodgy Christmas jumpers as well.
Yeah, fingers crossed. But I just think it's like you sort of said, the whole move. They need to get the wedding storyline done and dusted, so we can get away from from Kip. We'll have been in the company for a couple of months by that point. Pull the trigger on him, or just have him have a proper good feud. I just can't think of who against at the minute.
Christ, I forgot about that wedding. Bloody hell! Still not even sorted. They've got to wrap that storyline.
He's not the best man. You can't even sort out like the wedding.
Exactly. Overall, what do you think of the episode?
Yeah, it was a good episode. Obviously, last week's was a huge fucking high, and this week we're back to sort of just a good episode. There's nothing overly negative about it. I don't think there's anything overly exceptional about it either. So yeah, man, it did the job. I enjoyed watching it. It was an enjoyable 2 hours. Ticked all the boxes. Gave me some quality wrestling. I'd say I'll go home happy, but I was already at home. But yeah, I was happy.
Same there. Nothing too offensive. The Kenny Omega interview bit was a bit disappointing, a bit of a letdown, but other than that, nothing too majorly fantastic about it, but it weren't too offensive at all. I mean, overall, both shows on the night, they were kind of the same for me. Nothing terrible on either show, but nothing really outstandingly fantastic either. So,
no, I think NXT picked it for me this week just because of the cross return.
Yes, yeah. although it will lose in the ratings, but I just like to see the ratings go out. I don't really care about the ratings myself. It's just hilarious to see the toxicity online. It's just
dude, I can't do it, man. I just have to sort of like shake my head and just the simple answers, man. It's like the ratings are neither here nor there. You know, we're winning at the end of the day. Wrestling fans at the minute are absolutely fucking winning. This has got to be one of the best times, barring sort of circa 96 to 2000, you know, to be a wrestling fan, just for the stuff that's on TV at the minute.
absolutely.
Who gives a monkeys about ratings? You know, it's just both shows do the job. Fuck the people who are too stubborn to, you know, admit they like one over the other. Just like wrestling, just enjoy wrestling, and just watch what you want to watch.
Exactly. And on that bombshell, we are wrapping up. Follow us on Twitter at HardCam Podcast. Subscribe on YouTube. Hit the notification bell and listen on YouTube as well. Listen on Podbeam. Subscribe and follow on Podbeam as well. Find us on Facebook. You can follow me. Please follow me on Twitter. I need the followers. Actually, no, I don't. I'm really not that bothered. I just trump all day. I am at Yardy316. Nick Towers is Pencil Tree. Is that right?
Yep.
And you can find him also on Facebook as well, on the Hardcam Podcast Facebook page. This has been the NXT and AEW review from the Hardcam Podcast. As we always say, we're out of time. See you later. Say goodbye, Nick.
Adieu.
Bang.